Thanks everyone for being here. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm Alex. I'm part of the product team at Metamask, and I'm going to be talking to you today, trying to answer the question, can we use snaps to move beyond the secret recovery phrase? I think everyone's probably aware of the secret recovery phrase. Everyone's probably used Metamask in this room. I don't know if you're here and you haven't used Metamask. This is what you see if you're on board to Metamask. You're asked to record 12 words. We tell people, write these down on a piece of paper. Don't lose them. Also, don't give them to anyone as well. This has been pretty successful for Metamask. It's very scalable, it's very interoperable, and it's pretty secure. So when Dan started to make this, like 7 years ago, 100 million people have gone through this, but there's various problems with this user experience 7 years into the future that we're now trying to think about and to try to evolve. If anyone's used any other wallet, you'll see that there's some innovations in this space, but at Metamask, we're trying to go about things a little bit differently. I've used this diagram before in quite a few talks. If you'd have seen my ECC talk 6 months ago in Paris, I presented this, but things have moved on a little bit since then. We're still on that far right-hand side when we think about where we are in terms of an account experience. I talk about this in terms of we could spend quite a lot of time iterating on the current secret recovery phrase experience, improve the account experience inside Metamask. It's going to take a lot of effort for us. We're going to use a lot of engineering cycles, but we're just going to get to potentially the best secret recovery phrase experience possible. That's the local maximum there on the left-hand side. What we really want to do is do a huge jump, get to the best Web3 account experience possible. That's a global maximum. We've got to take a bit of a risk. We've got to take a jump. We may not see some innovation to our users for a small period of time. We're really trying to get something better, a lot better. And we're trying to make that jump with snaps, which is why I'm here today to talk to you about that. And as Christian said, this is part of a new category of snaps called account management snaps. So if you go to the snaps directory today, you'll see 3 new snaps in there that have been live for just a couple of weeks. If you go to the new create an Ethereum account, you'll see these 3 snaps here: Silent Shard, Safe Heron, and Capsule. What these allow are alternative account experience to the secret recovery phrase to actually start adding into Metamask into your account list like this on the right-hand side, very similar to a hardware wallet if you used that with Metamask previously. So I'm now going to take you through some live demos. We're going to start off on a white knuckle right here. I'm on 5G. So let's go for this. All right, so if you've installed a snap before, you go to the amazing snaps directory, snaps.metamask.io. Well, I'm going to scroll down, and here are the 3 snaps here. I'm going to start off with the capsule one. I think we have the capsule team in the room right now. It's here at DC, there we go. So you're part of the snaps directory. Now let's go and install your snap. We're going to add this to Metamask. Squint and come closer if you're at the back. I'm not going to zoom in on all of these here. You've seen the standard connection and installing a snap before. There's a couple of new permissions for these account management snaps. Importantly, allow requests for adding and controlling Ethereum accounts. That seems pretty standard. We're talking about alternative account experiences here. And now we're going to install this into Metamask. All right, that is now installed. We're now directed to the Capsule companion dApp for this snap. We're going to sign into Metamask. We're connecting. And now we're asked to create a wallet. This is pretty cool. We're creating a wallet inside Metamask. So we've already gone through this before. We now have the Capsule widget here. That wasn't me. All right, you've got my personal email address there. That's linked to my Capsule account. We're going to go continue. And now we see an interesting button here that says use a passkey. This is all the rage right now. In not just Web3, but in Web2. This is a new security mechanism being rolled out by Apple and Google to try and replace passwords. And now I'm asked to log in this top left-hand window here. So I've already set up this passkey before. It's already stored in my iCloud keychain. Now all I need to do is use my Touch ID on my Mac. I'm now authenticating with Capsule. I'm creating a 2-to-2 multi-party computation session between the Snap and Capsule servers, and we are now adding that account into Metamask. I'm actually going to zoom in here. Here we go. Account created. I now have that NPC account added into my Metamask, and let me just show you here. This isn't just smoke and mirrors. Here we go. Capsule. It's been added. Alrighty. That is a Capsule account management snap. I'm now going to go back to the snaps directory. And now let's go through the Silent Shard one. So I'm showing you a ton of optionality here. We have 3 right now. And if you're developing this room with a new account management idea, this is an invitation to you to join the crowd. All right, so now we're going to install Silent Shard. We have the same permissions. Installing this one here. Okay, now we're going to go to the stat. Do we have the Silence Laboratories team in the room? No, not right now, but they've done an awesome job. We've essentially been working with this team to actually help develop these APIs. So I'm going to connect to this site here. We have a custom confirmation via Snaps here. And as Christian presented earlier, there's a lot more dynamic Snaps UI coming to MetaMask. Potentially the reliance on these dApps that companion the Snap will be reduced in the future. But right now, we're just using these basic custom confirmations. I'm now going to approve that. And now what I interestingly see here is a QR code. This is where I've got my iPhone on the right-hand side here. This is the companion Silent Shard app. So I'm actually going to go here and repair with the browser. So this is just a demo here. Oh, I'm struggling here just to register the QR codes. There we go. We've now paired successfully. I'm now encouraged to create the account. And then we've paired this Snap account to my MetaMask as well. This is a very similar cryptographic algorithm under the hood using multi-party computation, which creates key shares between different nodes. There's never one continuous private key, so it's a lot more secure. What this one offers, though, is a 2FA type of experience. When I came to MetaMask about 2 years ago, started working on hardware wallets, one of the biggest feature requests we'd ever get on Twitter whenever we released something was, when 2FA? Well, let me show you now. This is live in MetaMask today. This is MetaMask production. So let me send some Sepolia from Snap account 3 to my capsule account, for example. Let's just send a super small amount. We'll confirm this here. And then what we'll then see on my iPhone on the right-hand side is a notification to slide to improve this. So if, of course, this is on lock screen, I'll be getting a push notification. I will just slide this here, and we'll then be approving that transaction. So this is a really native-like experience from Snaps being added into MetaMask. What I'll do here as well, not to leave Capsule, I will then also send a transaction from my Capsule account to another Snap account I'd previously set up. And how this works, because I already authenticated with the passkey, we have a 90-minute window where I can do as many transactions as I like. So hitting confirm, I don't need to authenticate with the passkey again, and I'll be sending some Sepolia ETH to my other account. Okay, now I will show you the last one here, which is Safe Heron. So this one operates in a very different way to the previous ones that I showed you. This is actually going to be communicating between the Snap and the app on my iPhone using the local area network. So I will, let's just say, transfer some Sepolia back to my Silent Shard account. And this is going to show you a different flow in terms of how these account management snaps can work. The previous snaps were using what we call the synchronous flow for these account management snaps. This is using an asynchronous flow. And as part of this user journey, I'm encouraged to go to a different dApp here. And then what we'll see on this dApp is, let me try and zoom in here. We're seeing a send transaction request, and then we see a button here that says MPC sign. So clicking that here, okay, I'm going to zoom out. If I open my Safe Heron app on the right-hand side, I'm now going to sign this using a QR code. What this is doing is creating a local MPC session. I'm scanning these QR codes between. Let's hope this works. It's a little bit awkward, but bear with me. There we go. And confirming that on my phone, I'm then sending that transaction. So super secure method, a local area network just going between the Snap and then my phone. Here, this is actually a 2 or 3 as well. So my Android device, I think, which is back in London, has the other shard. So, you know, if I was to lose one of these, I could go back to London and then reconfigure this. All right, so those are 3 account management snaps live in extension today. Let me go back here. Nice. Yeah, not just showing you stuff under development. And congrats to the 3 teams that are there right now. So on a really high level, how this works, very similar to the other snaps. You're going to use a dApp to install the Snap. That dApp is then going to connect to an account with MetaMask as when you're installing the snap. And then you're going to use that snap to create an account, which then uses the new API that we've released, which is called the keyring API in the MetaMask documentation, in the code base, to register that account in MetaMask. On the right-hand side, as the demos that I just showed you, a user is going to be using the dApp, which is going to submit requests to MetaMask, which is then going to forward that request to the snap, which is then going to ping it back to MetaMask. The response is going to go back to the dApp and back to the user on a super high level. If you want to get building with this today, you can go to the Metamask Docs site. This is under the section called Custom EVM Accounts. Again, this is all in prod. This is all in Metamask extension today, and this will take you through how all of this works. We've got some sequence diagrams here for the synchronous flow, the asynchronous flow, etc., etc. Scroll down here as well, and then you can go to the keyring API to see all the different methods as well. Okay, let me just go full screen again. All right. We also have a template snap as well. No need to give a demo here, but you see a very simple dApp on the left-hand side. If you're going to start creating an account management snap, I'd encourage forking the snap simple keyring. You'll see all the methods there. You can play around with it, such as create an account, import an account, etc., to actually start building your account management snap from the ground up. We spoke earlier about a permissionless distribution model for snaps. We really want to bring that to account management snaps as well. But as you can imagine, because these account management snaps can derive their own keys, they can manage their own keys, there's a little bit of a higher security threshold that these account management snaps need to reach. So we do have a pretty strict allow list criteria for these right now. And the 3 teams that got there know that we had copious security audits on this. We also checked these on the MetaMask side as well before we were confident having them in extension. And on a very high level, and this is still a little bit of a work in progress, and we're going to be iterating this as we go forwards, is we have mainly these 4 points to be part of the allow list of account management snaps. First of all, just like MetaMask, we're basically trying to say that these account management snaps should be self-custodial. What we're saying by that is a user should be able to export that private key at any time. But we also go a step further, and we're saying that if the account management snap developer company, for example, no longer existed, there should still be a way for a user to actually get their private key. So Capsule, Sounds Laboratories, and SafeHeron have all published a script on GitHub where you can actually just download that script onto your local machine and then actually get your private key and potentially put it in another wallet. This is, of course, a core ethos to MetaMask, and we're trying to bring that to these new account experiences as well. These other 3 points are just in terms of the security audits we're requiring. Again, these can manage private keys, so any code inside the snap essentially needs an audit, and especially for the first versions. We're really trying to encourage all the teams to have public code as well. Some of this code, of course, can live on servers, and you just saw 2 companion mobile apps as well. Those are all public source. We do believe that there's an increased security and transparency, so encouraging the developers who use these APIs to follow those guidelines as well. And if that code directly manages private keys, such as a multi-party computation protocol, a smart contract, a hardware wallet, we're also requesting audits on that. Of course, MetaMask Flask doesn't have an allow list. If that is important for you today, go for it and use Flask. I just showed you, though, everything to do with externally owned accounts and account management snaps. We have another thing to share with you today. We are rolling out ERC 4337 support for these account management snaps as well. This is going to be live in MetaMask Flask probably next week, and really excited to give a demo of this right now. So we've been working with Bitonomy behind the scenes, and let me get full screen here so people can see. Okay. Let me try and get this a bit bigger. Perfect. All right. So the familiar connection request that we have for any account management snap, and our request for adding controlling Ethereum accounts right here. Installing this, we're now going to be creating an account. Importantly, though, this isn't an EOA. This is what we call a counterfactual smart contract account. Counterfactual just essentially means off-chain. So we are speeding up the transactions a little bit here for this demo, but that just means it's a lot quicker and cheaper as well to set up. So We're not saying this is an off-chain smart contract account here. Users shouldn't really care about that. They should just care about the user experience. There's some really interesting tech going on behind the hood right there. So now we're connecting to this very sampled app. This is more of a proof of concept to show developers what's possible. Of course, if this was going to be rolled out to end users, this would look a lot more attractive. And in time, again, starting to use some of that smart Snap dynamic UI coming into extension. And then what we're going to be doing here is adding a guardian, a social recovery concept for that smart contract. So we're just here going to be using the existing EOA that's already added to MetaMask to actually add a guardian for the recovery. Now this is super exciting here. So if anyone's familiar with ERC 4337, it's a new spec for smart contract accounts that's been running out. Vitalik is a big fan, along with loads of other people in the Ethereum ecosystem. One of the main benefits of 4337 is it allows dApps or any developers to start sponsoring transactions. So this means to a user, they don't have to pay any gas. The main infrastructure component that allows gas-free transactions is a paymaster. And as we can see on that MetaMask confirmation right there, we're seeing a bunch of zeros. And we're saying the gas for this transaction will be paid by a paymaster. We're still rolling this out. You'll also see an alert telling the user they're sending Zeromatic. I think that's really a warning, but we have some archaic logic in the MetaMask confirmation screens that will eventually improve. And then the user can just go forward and confirm a Zeromatic transaction to deploy their account. If anyone's familiar with deploying smart contract accounts, that can cost roughly like $20 or something. In this certain instance, that costs the user nothing. There's another part of this as well. We're now going to be approving a new token paymaster to be added to that smart contract account. And what that means is we're essentially allowing this account to pay for gas in a different token to the chain that it's currently connected to, which is super cool if you're trying to do a transaction and you just happen to have a lot of ERC20 on the token. Now, as we're rolling these APIs out as well, and if you're a smart contract developer who wants to bring their smart contract to MetaMask, you can rest assured that we're making this backwards compatible as well. So here you can see this smart contract account in MetaMask being connected to Uniswap. And what you're now going to see is we're going to be connecting to Uniswap, completing a swap on Uniswap. And if you're a dApp developer, we have certain transaction APIs. What we're doing here, though, is we will be converting those standard transactions into the user op on the MetaMask side. So as a smart contract developer, you can rest assured your smart contract will work with any dApp that MetaMask currently works with. So completing the swap. So that's all happening behind the hood, super, super quick. But as you can see here as well, we're paying for the gas in USDC when we're actually on Polygon, which is super cool. And yeah, this isn't all smoke and mirrors. I'm not going to bother going through Polyscan to actually show you all the valid transactions. But if you are interested in building with this, you can go to the Metamask Docs. And if you scroll down to the section, you can see all the information around ERC 4337. You can see how we're preparing the user operations, and then how we're actually going to be sending them to the bundler. That's an important point as well. Familiar with the 4337, there's another infrastructure component called a bundler. A Snap developer can define their own bundler. If you don't define a bundler, we'll just use the default one that MetaMask has already defined. It's up to you if you want to bring that to MetaMask as well. And then at the bottom, you can see all the different template account management snaps that are already out there. And the one I just showed you was the Biconomy Smart Account Snap, which if you're a smart contract developer in the room, you can get started building with today. We also have another template, 4337 account snap, which you can fork and start building with as well. So if this sounds interesting to you, and you want to bring your own account experience to MetaMask, we have a couple of resources. This here is a blog post that I wrote on this topic, which goes a little bit over the strategy and the talk that I just gave. Go to the Metamask Docs site, go to the snaps, go to custom EVM accounts to see all the APIs that I went through today you can start building with. And of course, go to snaps.metamask.io, account management, to start installing these snaps and trying them out yourself. Okay, key takeaways is MetaMask has some new APIs to allow third-party developers to bring their own innovative account experiences to the wallet. The current APIs in Metamask extension support all kinds of multi-factor authentication type experiences using new kinds of cryptography. But coming very soon in Metamask Flask, as in next week, you can start building with it today, is ERC 4337 support as well. It's not much of a lift for us at all to actually get those APIs into Metamask extension, but we just need a smart contract developer to pass their orders for the snap, and then we can start to get that into Metamask extension as well. So if that sounds exciting to you, then get building. Point 4, all APIs on the Metamask Snaps doc site. And yeah, let's all work together to try to solve the problems with the secret recovery phrase. So thank you very much. If you are interested in building one of these snaps, those are my contact details. Email me or Manish or get in touch with Christian. We're all here. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks so much.